Let's get into our first discussion of the day. Now, the joys of parenthood is one many individuals want to experience. But for persons dealing with infertility, getting pregnant becomes a difficult ordeal. Over the years, breakthroughs in science and technology have seen the burden of infertility reduced to the barest minimum. In vitro fertilization is one way persons experiencing difficulties can get pregnant. In vitro fertilization is the joining of a woman's egg and a man's sperm in a dish. In vitro means outside the body. Now, the IVF, as it's widely known, is a form of assisted reproductive technology. This means that special medical techniques are used to help a woman become pregnant. But in this part of the world, there are some myths concerning undergoing the procedure. Hence, there is a need to shed more light on it to encourage more people dealing with infertility to embrace the IVF. That is the crux of our first discussion now. So joining me now to make sense of all of this is the President, Odidi Feola Fertility Foundation, Oyindayo, Akeeb. It's nice to have you join me this morning.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
Odidi Feola. Okay. What? Please pronounce that for me. I love it. I love the sound.
Odidi Ifeola.
Okay. Odidi Ifeola.
Yeah.
Odidi Ifeola. What does it mean?
Whoa, I never thought you were going to ask this. Whoa, I never thought you were going to ask this.
You know, okay, yeah, let me
let me tell
just
you.
in summary.
Yeah, Odidi Ifeola Fertility Foundation, the name Odidi Ifeola
Yes.
was actually given to me. I don't know how you are going to say this.
Okay.
In a dream, or do I call it a trance by my mom?
Wow.
My mom died when I was 14, and it was during a time while I was waiting for the fruit of the womb.
Okay.
This particular day, I finished, having my evening prayer actually, and I slept off where I was praying, and I had that dream, and she came in and she told me that the child that you will have, you call the child this name, Odidi Ifeola. I pronounced the name in the sleep. I mean, in the dream.
Okay.
I didn't do that properly. I said Odidi Ifeola, and she said no, that I might not come back again to give you this name. So when you wake up, write it down. Odidi
This wasn't a dream.
Honestly,
wow.
That was how the name came to be. You asked for it.
All right. But what's the meaning? What does it mean?
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
But
she gave me the name.
It sounds Yoruba, isn't it?
It sounds Yoruba.
Ife
is love. Ola is wealth.
Okay.
Odidi, I don't know. I've asked many elders
maybe
myself.
Someone who loves someone. But that's beautiful. It's fine. In this part of the world, when names or messages are passed through dreams, we hold them very sacredly and very specially. So, but it's really nice. Now, you're someone who has gone through, who has experienced the use of IVF, and you waited for about 15 years?
Almost
close to 15 years,
yes.
And then you had a child, and all of that experience became a testimony.
Yes.
Can you share with us what your experience was for the 14, 15 years that you were expecting a child?
Okay, I actually had children. I had twins. Yeah.
Amazing.
You see, I started up like any young child growing up with lots of ideas and fantasies, and in my head, in my dream, I would be married at age 25. Okay. And by the time I'm 30, I'm done having,
Those were all your projections.
Exactly.
Like any other young lady.
Like any other young lady, I had them up. But I got to 25. I didn't get married until 35.
Wow.
And we started trying for baby immediately. And to realize that getting pregnant is more than opening your legs to your partner, to, to your spouse. It's more than that. We tried and I couldn't be pregnant. So we started the investigation, the medical investigation, and we did everything. And at the end of all the probing and investigation, doctors concluded that I'm having unexplained infertility. That means that, well, we have checked you. There's nothing that says you shouldn't be pregnant. Medically, you are okay, but you are not pregnant. So we don't know why you can be pregnant. They call it unexplained infertility. So that was how the journey started, and we started the waiting. It was long. It was traumatizing. I did a lot, a whole lot of things before some friends pointed me to IVF. I've heard about IVF then, but I thought it was something beyond me, really very expensive. So when some friends pointed me to IVF, I started doing my research, investigation about it, and I got to a center and I started the journey. You see, with my first try at IVF, the first procedure, the reality of IVF that you would see, trying it and everything, there is no way that, why would it fail? IVF shouldn't fail. The reality is so it was a big thing for me when
your first trial
failed.
didn't work.
It didn't work.
How did you feel at that time?
It was a big knockout for me. Wow. It was terrible. I never believed. Why would it fail? You see, these are embryos that lived outside of the womb. You already defined IVF. Babies made outside of fertilization that happened outside of the body. And this baby lived in a petri dish that was placed inside an incubator. They lived, they survived. So why would you now transfer something that is living in an artificial, fake, place, and you transfer it to its original habitat, and it died? I could not understand it. It was live embryos that was transferred.
Yeah. So what happened after that time? You had to try again, or were you discouraged, or something? what really happened?
Well, I'm quite. Let me say, I'm a strong girl. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, I am. I got knocked down, and I got back up.
Wow.
I got back up, and I had my pity party. And I said to myself, okay, this is the situation. What next? What are you going to do now? But I have good people around me. The medical, the clinic that I use, they encouraged me too. They were there to encourage me, and they helped me in getting back up to
stronger.
my feet. And being, if you have this relationship with God, it makes it easier for you when you get knocked down. When you can, it's less ground, as we put it this way. When you get knocked down, it says make sure you are falling at your back, because when you fall back at your, you fall back, you are looking up, and when you can look up, you can get up, and that is it for me.
That signifies hope.
Yes.
All right. So in that process, at what point were you able to become successful with the IVF after trying the first time? It didn't work, and
first time it didn't work. Second time, it didn't work.
Wow.
It was as if the world was going to end. I had a good team of people around me. They kept encouraging me. So the third time, you won't believe this, because I did the first one and had complete bed rest. It didn't work. Second one, partial bed rest. It didn't work. The third one I did, the third day after the transfer, I traveled out.
Wow.
I was like, okay, I've been doing all this resting thing, and it's not working. I just went out. I just traveled out, and that didn't work too.
Wow.
So it was my fourth attempt that I conceived my twins.
Wow. And here we are with the testimony now. What did you name the children? Odidi Feola? So they are twins.
They are twins.
So what? How did you name them?
And you know, we already have the name broken into two.
Oh, I see.
So
okay.
the first one that came out, the Thai is Odidi.
Okay.
And the Kenny is
Ifeola.
Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I hope to see them some of the days. But talk to us basically through that period. How did your husband, how was he supporting you? What was going through his mind and how was he feeling?
You see, in my experience now, you know, my own personal experience and meeting with, you know, other family going through this thing, it's, I used to think that it is the woman that is having all this feeling, but men do feel it very hard too. And he is indeed very supportive, and families that come across me during for this thing we are talking about, I encourage them. You know, it's a whole lot of, there has to be unity. It makes it work, and it makes the answer somehow. Maybe it's spiritual, I don't know. It makes it faster when the husband and the wife, when they are like this. When there is unity among them.
When there's an agreement.
When there is an agreement.
It makes everything work. Even the good books say, except two agree, they cannot walk together. Right. So at what point did you decide to come up with the foundation? Because now you have Odidi Feola Foundation.
Fertility Foundation.
Fertility Foundation. So talk to us about that.
It's got to a point in my time of waiting, you know, with all the experience, everything I went through, it's a whole lot of things. I decided that, okay, God, if you answer me and you give me this that I desire, I will make sure that I try everything within my power and use all of my resources to support any family that is going through this, any woman that is going through this kind of waiting. I will, you know, I made that promise. And when I conceived my children, and you know, I got to like 4 months into the pregnancy, because I had two that didn't stay. I conceived naturally twice during the period of waiting. My first conception, I was actually 40 when I had my first conception. The second one came too, and you know, it's the whole, I miscarried both conception that I had naturally. So I waited to pass that time, because the miscarriages, they happen when I'm getting to around 3 months. So when I got to 4 months and I'm still good, so I decided, I started planning for the foundation. You know, that's great hope. You know, I had great hope in me that, no, this one, I'm going to carry this one to term. And I started planning for the foundation, and I started writing a book that I had started in 2006, and I decided that the book, I'm going to finish the book with my testimony, you know, when and so I started writing the book. The name of the book is I Am Not a Superwoman. It is selling on Amazon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not a superwoman, but you are a superwoman.
That's what people say.
You are really a superwoman.
That's what they say after they read my book. How can you say
because
you're not a superwoman?
after going through all of these things that you have been through, I don't see why you are not a superwoman. You are, of course, you are. And anyone listening to you would certainly, you know, derive a lot of inspiration from you. So talk to us, you know, when you talk about IVF, so many people imagine that, like you thought at first when you said, this thing is beyond me, I won't be able to afford it and all of that. What does it cost like? What are the implications for doing it? Anybody who wants to do it now, what's the cost implication?
Okay, like it's not as expensive as it used to be before. Right. Even now, it is not as expensive as it was when I did mine. And Oyindayo Fertility Foundation, we actually partnered with two very good fertility center in Nigeria, two of the best.
Okay.
You know, in Nigeria, we partnered with them, and the price now actually is 950 to 1.2 with in our own fertility center, and that is not their normal price. It is their promo price. They are, you know, one of them is having promo right now, is their promo price. But for ODD Ifeola Fertility Foundation, that promo price is what we are paying at any time. They agreed with us for that. So the 950, when I say 950 to 1.2, it will depend on if it's going to be 950 or 1.2, will depend on the result of medical investigation.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's and we ODD Ifeola Fertility Foundation, with our partners, we had a lot of deal with them, and they are such awesome, you know, people, because they agreed, they looked beyond the money and gave some things themselves as humanitarian service. Actually, they are the first, this fertility center that I'm talking about, they are the first that gave ODD Ifeola our first two free IVF sponsorship, because it is part of the thing we do in ODD Ifeola Fertility Foundation. We support psychologically, we support spiritually, and we support financially, giving free IVF support.
Free IVF support.
Yes,
that's a lot.
Yes.
All right. Now, so for anyone who desire to, you know, experience or use the IVF, and people are out there, how do they come to you and reach out to you, or you reach out to people sourcing for anyone who has that kind of a challenge? How does the process start with you? Me
now, I see myself as an agent of fruitfulness. Anybody can come. Anybody.
So anybody just walks into the foundation and makes an inquiry, and then
wants to belong to the foundation, wants to join the foundation. Anybody, any family trying, any woman trying can join the foundation.
So what's the process? Let's assume that somebody is walking into the foundation right now. What are the procedures you go through? What do you check, and what are the criteria for becoming a member and then getting the
free sponsorship?
Exactly, whatever it is.
Okay. So many of the people that are there right now, I've not even met them, and we are all like family. They get to me, they connect with me and contact me almost like every day thing. So on they get my contact on Facebook, on my social media platform. On Facebook, you can go to ODD Ifeola Fertility Foundation.
Right.
If you search it on Facebook, and join. One of our admin will approve, or I approve myself, and then you're a member. Then we give you some link, like you register with our website, and that is what it takes for you to be under ODD Ifeola Fertility Foundation and enjoy everything, all of the grace that is with that foundation. So what it takes for people to now get that free IVF, we have a lot of people already. So even if we have 100 that needs free IVF now, it's going to be a criteria. And the only thing that it takes is we just look at the active people on the platform. There are some people on that platform that do not even need the financial support. They just need the psychological support and the tips that we share. So we look at how active members are on our platform. We share a lot of things.
All right. So that is what determines who gets the free sponsorship or IVF or not.
It is how active you are, and this is why that is important.
So what when you say being active, what determines being active?
The reason being active is important, and I would say it with what determines it is that it is two things for anybody that is trying to conceive. It is two things for you to be able to achieve. The hand of God is in this already, so we are settled with that, because Exodus 23 verse 26 says that there shall be none barren in the land. So the hand of God is in it already. So the remaining two things is your own commitment. Before the foundation can put money into it, you need to be committed. And I do a lot of, encouraging a lot of teaching to bring people up. It's one can easily get into depression going through this thing. I do a lot of teaching to bring them up. If you are willing, and you are ready and you are hungry, like Les Brown will put it again, the hunger, if I see hunger in you, it is the hunger in you that will keep bringing you back to the platform, to try all of the tips, to listen to those messages that will keep you up. It is, the hunger that is in. When I say that, I see you as a candidate for free sponsorship, then we can put our money there. The hunger is there. The commitment is there. It has to be there for it to work.
So anyway, it's all right. I understand we don't have enough time, but maybe there'll be other opportunities for us to discuss and get to understand the hunger you talk about, what the hunger is for, and if there are other activities that people get involved with to determine how committed they are and all of that. But we have to leave it here now. Oyindayo Akeeb, thank you so much, the president of Odidi Feola Fertility Foundation. It's really amazing. Thanks for coming on the show.
It's nice.
Thank you very
to be
much.
here.
Thank you. Right.